Welcome to the Mindfulness Meditation Podcast presented by the Rubin Museum of Himalayan Art, a global museum dedicated to bringing greater awareness and understanding of Himalayan art to people around the world. I'm your host, Tashi Churdern. Every Thursday, we offer a meditation session at New York Insight Meditation Center that draws inspiration from an artwork from the Rubens collection and is led by a prominent meditation teacher. This podcast is a recording of our weekly in-person practice. The description of each episode includes information about the theme for that week's session and an image of the related artwork. Our Mindfulness Meditation Podcast is presented in partnership with Sharon Salzberg and teachers from the New York Insight Meditation Center, the Interdependence Project, and Parabola Magazine, and supported by the Frederick P. Lenz Foundation for American Buddhism. And now, please enjoy your practice. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And Tashi Deleg, welcome. Welcome to the Rubin Museum of Himalayan Art's Mindfulness Meditation Program here at this beautiful place, New York Insight Meditation Center. I am Tashi Churdern, Himalayan Programs and Communities Ambassador, and I'm delighted to be your host today. The Rubin is a global hub dedicated to Himalayan art and its insights. And we're so glad to have all of you join us both in person and online for this weekly program where we combine art and meditation. Inspired by our collection, we will first take a deep look at the work of art we have chosen today, which is handpicked by our teacher amongst a collection of art that we sent. Then we will hear a brief talk from our teacher, Michel Pascal. He will give us a guided meditation for 15 to 20 minutes. Let's take a look at today's theme and artwork. The theme we're exploring this month is compassion, and the artwork for today's session is this beautiful tanka, mineral pigment on cloth of Ushnisha Vijaya, who is sitting in the middle of this architectural structure called stupa or chaitya. She is with 3 faces and 8 arms. So this is origin from Tibet, dated 18th century, mineral pigment on cloth. And this is about 51 into 38 into 2¼ inches. A beautiful tanka. And the connection to the theme for the compassion is Ushnisha Vijaya is the goddess of longevity. Her merciful presence bestows protection from physical and mental affliction. Ushnisha Vijaya, known to be as the goddess of long life, she is often referred to as Tsela Namsum, one of the 3 long life Buddha, often with Amitabha Buddha and the Long Life Buddha. The mantra of Ushnisha Vijaya is recited with the intention of leading a healthy, long life filled with Dharma activity. Now, this beautiful tanka, if you look closely, you see the architectural structure called stupa, pagoda-like shape. And in Nepalese language, it's known as chaitya. And on top, you can see sort of the crescent moon shape. And on top is the sun and the moon symbolizing the universe. Now, what you see here is intricate tanka painting commissioned by a grieving family to commemorate a deceased relative. So the lost loved one is depicted in the bottom center, wearing a white robe. Along with the deceased person, you also see the 5 teachers during that period, which is the 18th century. In fact, the presence of the teachers brings added merit to the deceased relative for an auspicious rebirth. Again, when a person passes away in the Buddhist tradition, there is the observation of 49 days of reciting the Parado text and a lot of rituals that goes along, especially on the 3rd day after a person passes away, and then the first week, second week, third week, and all the way to the 7th week, which is the wrapping of the 49th day. Now let's bring on our teacher for today. Our teacher is Michelle Pascal. Michelle is a meditation teacher for 25 years and has led successful programs for prisoners which help prevent suicides and reduce reoffending. He's written about 20 books on spirituality, including Meditation for Daily Stress, 10 Practices for Immediate Well-Being, known as the Medicine Voice. He's performed at Carnegie Hall and played at the Peace Day concert in Times Square in September 2023. In December 2023, he presented his methods at the United Nations. And he's done so many amazing programs, and we're so fortunate to have Michelle here. Michelle, thank you so much for being here, and please help me in welcoming Michelle Pascal.
Let's pray. Let's meditate. Let's calm the mind. I will sing for each of you Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. It means, may all I can do today be full of love. All I can say today be full of love. All I can think today be full of love. All I can say, all I can do, all I can think, be full of love. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om meum, o mani Thank you so much for your coming. Thank you, Tashi, for this beautiful tanka. Thank you, Jacqueline, Jason. Thank you to you. Thank you to everyone at the Rubin Museum Insight Meditation. What a beautiful moment today. As Tashi, you were talking about the compassion, kindness. I remember one day I was giving a class at Google in Manhattan, and a student said to me, Michel, I overthink all the time. I cannot sleep. I cannot live. My brain is running all the time. Do you have a magic stick to stop that? And I say, yes. There is a magic stick. Go downstairs in the street. Smile to an homeless. Give $1 to someone in the street who suffers. Have a kind attitude. If you are kind, immediately you will be liberated. When we are kind, when we say, hello, how are you? When we smile to someone, when we have a good attitude, when we have compassion, like that, it calms the mind. We are saved. You know, my friends, in our world, calming our mind, it's the only way to survive. Because we cannot have compassion, we cannot love, we cannot work, we cannot have friends, we cannot have projects if we are stressed. But it's fascinating to see how kindness and calmness are interconnected. So at the second we are kind, we have compassion, we have a good attitude with someone, we are liberated from the stress. Immediately we feel better. That I share with you, this is the Buddhist perspective. It's an experience. I love Buddhism because it's very scientific. Buddhism, it's we experiment, we compare, and we have proof. Make the experience. Be kind with the next person that you meet. Immediately, it calms the mind. Now, to finish this talk, let's investigate what says neuroscience. What says the science on the brain? At the second you are kind, you upgrade the dopamine. You know, dopamine, this is a neurotransmitter of the joy, of the gratitude, of the positive mind. At the second you are kind, you upgrade the dopamine and you decrease the cortisol. Cortisol, this is the hormone of the stress. Cortisol damage our intestine, our stomach, our brain. You know, when we are stressed, in our brain, the neurons explode one by one. So it means that when we are stressed, we reduce the size of our brain every day. And when we are kind, we extend our brain, so we become more intelligent. And it's very simple to be kind, because it is our nature. As we say in Buddhism, it was a representation of the tanka. No one loves to be unkind. Everyone, we love to be kind. We love to be calm. No one will say to you in New York City, I love to be stressed, I love to have anxiety, I love to have pity. No. No one loves to have depression. I say that to you because, as Tashi was explaining, I direct the meditation for the prisoners of Los Angeles since 10 years. And we have the best result of America. in mental health. We have 0 suicide since 10 years. So the program from July 1st is extended to every jail of California. Every prisoners will practice that I teach for you today. And the mayor of New York City asked me to develop this program for New York, especially for New York PD, the police of New York. They have a huge rate of suicide. 2 days ago, a police officer took his life in his office. Boom! Tomorrow there is the funeral of Mario. Mario, this is the name of this guy. And the mayor of New York City was very affected. He said to me, Michel, you have 0 suicide in LA. Bring the program for New York, for the prisoners. Just after you, I have meeting with the commissioner of the correctional system to bring this result, 0 suicide for the prisoners, for New York PD, for the youth in Queens, in Brooklyn, who are interested to become gang member. So the mayor said to me, Michel, stay here. And I say, okay. And I sign my lease. And I move back to New York. And it means a lot for me to see Jacqueline, Tashi, Jason, to see each of you. It means a lot for me. So I will lead a short meditation that I have adapted from the bodhicitta, the good art, as we say. It's to meditate like a rose. To meditate like a rose, it's a meditation that we do with the prisoners of Los Angeles. We do this practice every day when we start the day. When I say prisoners, it's prisoners, parolees, and lifers, the guys incarcerated for life, men and women. And we do the program in person, but also by video, because you know in California, in every jail, there is a TV, an internal TV, so the program is filmed by video and broadcast. So, but it's interesting to teach the program for the prisoners and for the police in the same time. And it's so beautiful that New York PD wants to learn from the prisoners of California. This is wow. And when we teach for the prisoners in LA, many times in the class we have the sheriff, the parole officer, prisoners and police are in the same room. When you take out the uniform, when you take out the tattoos and all, we are the same. So let's calm our mind. Let's meditate like a rose. And just we close our eyes. We are sitting down in a comfortable position. We do nothing. Just we are sitting down in a comfortable position. And we put our right hand on our heart. Feel your heart. Your heartbeat. Your heart is like a rose. The color of your heart is rose. And when we meditate like a rose, we can send our compassion, our kindness like a rose, with no reason, no expectation. Like a rose gives her perfume. So we fill our heart in our right hand. We will breathe in the nectar of our heart, the nectar of our good heart, because every person has a good heart. Every person has a heart. We will breathe in our compassion, our good heart, and when we will exhale, we will diffuse in this room to each of us our good energy. Breathing our compassion, exhale our compassion. And let's send our good heart, our compassion to every cell of our body. We're breathing our compassion like a rose. Diffuse the rose. You feel the peace of your heart in your stomach. The peace of your heart, the compassion of your heart in your intestine, in your back, and in this room. Let's go deeper. We will breathing our compassion, and we will send our compassion, our good heart to our parents. Breathing like a rose. Diffuse the rose. Let's go deeper with our co-workers, our colleagues, all the people who work with us. We breathe in like a rose. Send our love to them. Let's meditate like a rose to your family, children, aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins. Imagine all your family make an half moon around you, and you will send your love like a rose send our perfume with no reason, no expectation to each of your family members. Take a time to see their faces, your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, your uncles, aunties, grandpa, grandma, parents, all the family, like that. Now, let's go in the street to every people in Manhattan, every people who need love, who need kindness. Visualize the people in the street. Take one face, choose one person, and give all your love to this person. And to finish, visualize people unkind with you. People who don't love you. People sometimes who are nasty, violent, abusive, people unkind. Visualize them breathing like a rose. Offer the rose to them. You feel when we are kind, we are liberated, and we stay like that, like a rose. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like a rose in New York City. And when we are kind, calm, when we meditate like a rose, we can listen the chanting of the rose, the chanting of our heart. When we meditate like a rose, we become a rose. And we open our eyes slowly. When we meditate like a rose, we become a rose.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for that. Third drill means liberation upon hearing. That concludes this week's practice. To support the Rubin and this meditation series, we invite you to become a friend of the Rubin at rubinmuseum.org/friends. If you are looking for more inspiring content, please check out our other podcast, Awaken, which uses art to explore the dynamic paths to enlightenment and what it means to wake up. Season 4, hosted by Isabella Rossellini, delves into the Buddhist concept of attachment and explores how the practice of letting go can transform our experience of the world. available wherever you listen to podcasts. And to learn more about the Rubin Museum's work around the world, visit rubinmuseum.org. Thank you for listening. Have a mindful day.